Happy Friday, everyone, and happy Hallows Eve. I'm giving you a view of Honolulu to start as I wait for my guests to join. You get to see Diamond Head and the lake, or not the lake, the ocean. Clearly, I think that I'm still in Minnesota. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm not facing me yet. But hey, it's so
Hey!
cute. Okay, I didn't face it on me yet because I wanted to surprise you. I'm like super proud of what I came up with. Okay, 1 second. Hopefully, oh, okay, perfect. So let me turn this around. Okay, you ready for this reveal? Are you ready?
Yes. Oh my god!
Oh, you can't see my doll. I gotta sit really far back.
Your
Okay,
hair looks so good. That's kind of scary, girl. I'm really scared.
Don't I?
You look real
Now I
scared.
feel like I have to sit this far back so you see my whole look.
The makeup
All right,
is
so
what's
that
up.
means thank you. So I had this red dress. It's called my titty dress because it like goes all the way down here. But anyways, I found this skirt at a thrift store, and it was so hard finding this doll. Like I found one Savers that just had like all baby dolls. So I was able to find a doll.
That is so creepy.
And like the hardest thing was my bangs because I don't have bangs. So I had to create bangs. You know.
I was gonna say, so what'd you create it with?
I just basically took like pieces of my back hair, flipped it up, and then like pushed it up because like this top part has to be messy anyways. So yeah, there you go.
Cute.
And you look so adorable. Look at you, girl. I mean, not adorable. You look so sassy and sassy. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry, but oh, there's my doll. Her crotch is showing. My mom is so funny.
Was she scared?
No, she's like, you know how you're gonna get more customers if you become very sassy in Hawaii. And I'm like, Mom, what are you talking about? No, that's not what we're trying to sell. Sassy. But anyway.
I know, my mom was like, why don't you start selling your stuff on like live on Facebook Live? I'm like, well, that's not really what I'm trying to go for.
Some people, they do make a lot of money on Facebook
Hell
Live.
yeah.
We have thought about that.
I just don't have the energy. Like, I'm like, oh my goodness. But yeah, I was like, Mom, if you could do it for me, I would totally love it.
Right? Like, she gets that market of, you know, the curvy petite woman. That's perfect. Dude, your mom is like the Michigan ambassador then. Done.
I know. I need to tell her. Be like, you need to tell all your mom friends.
And then tell her to be sassy, okay? In Michigan, so, you know, she'd get more sales.
Exactly.
All right, so enough ranting. We just reviewed our looks. Clearly, Choua is a beautiful flapper woman. Hey. And I decided to go a little creepy. I hadn't dressed up since Kenu's birthday. Or, yes, the villain's birthday party. Yeah, I don't know if
that's years ago, girl.
I know, so I was so excited to dress up for this. Anywho, I'm Lydia Beetlejuice. I think this was, if I could remember correctly, this was like her wedding outfit. But anywho, I think I did a pretty good job. You saw my inspiration, so.
I'm super impressed. Even with the doll.
I know. I had to put like, she's strapped on by my like bikini straps. There's a lot of stuff going on in the back of me. So anywho, cheers. Happy Friday.
Yes, girl.
I made a rose teeny. I'm basically drinking rosé out of a martini glass, and I threw some grapes in there. So
I had a Negroni to start, but then I had pasta for dinner because it's like 8 o'clock here.
Me too. I had pasta too.
Did you?
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know, I'm not going to waste another glass. I'm just going to pour red wine into my cocktail glass.
Nice.
And that's what happened.
So we're on the same page. Look at that.
Exactly.
Girl. And if the viewers didn't notice, I upgraded my plastic wine cup that had made in China sticker on the bottom every time I drink from it.
Oh my God.
It bothered me so much that I had to bring like a proper cocktail class. I don't actually have a wine class, so if anyone wants to sponsor that, please feel free to send me one. Anywho, today's guest is Choua, and I'm so excited to be celebrating Hallows Eve with her virtually. We were more excited just to dress up than anything.
Yes.
And here we are. Choua is co-founder of Love Cali and Dana. Actually, it's Cali and Dana, but for those on IG, it's Love Cali, Cali, the letter Ndana. And it is a jeans company, which I don't know if you guys are expanding yet. I'll let you, go into that more, for curvy petite women. So I actually brought Choua on because I know Choua since New York. Yeah, I wish that we knew in Michigan, or I wish we knew each other in Michigan. But,
I know. I'm like, how did we miss each other, honestly, in Michigan?
Well, I was in Pontiac, so I think
that was a
makes a big
landslide.
difference.
I didn't divert too far, so.
Yeah, right? But we met in New York, and it couldn't have been a bigger blessing to have met you because you were truly like a role model to me and inspiration in so many aspects. I remember when Sheryl Sandberg's book came out, Lean In, we were like creating Lean In circles because we were like women first, women empowerment. And we had our own little like private circles on how to empower and uplift our own inner circles of women. But beyond that, in the corporate sphere, even in the entrepreneurial space, Choua has just been making so many moves. This woman does not stop. It takes months to get on a calendar. So thank you, God, for allowing her to make time for me, especially on this holiday. But yeah, enough about me introducing you. I want you to share with the audience a little bit about what building a niche brand like entails, and then we'll just kind of get into the golden hour.
Yeah, definitely. So the brand that I'm a co-founder of is called Cali and Dana, and actually has myself, my co-founder Allie, and my other co-founder Dana, hence the name Cali and Dana. And of course that went through multiple reiterations before we even got there. But I really wanted to figure out how we could make jeans that would fit curvy petite women. And I'm not talking like, when you go to your retailer and there's like the curvy section and then there's like the petite section, but there's never the combination of the sections, And yeah. I have my whole life, I'm like, all right, I'm not really petite, but I kind of am. But I'm curvy, and especially as I'm getting older, and I don't know if this is like a among women thing, but like my mom's the same way as me. Like I know a lot of women out there who are very similar to my body shape and type. And so when I got done with my MBA school, I, reached out to Allie and I was like, girl, you want to like try something? We're having Thai food at this restaurant in Hoboken. And we were like, heck yeah, let's do it. And she was obviously like super pregnant at the time. So we were like, all right, let's pick this back up when this baby comes out and, let's try to run with it. And then, we connected with Dana, and I knew Dana from Michigan through my friend Bao, who also lived in New York.
Shout out Dana. She's online watching us now.
Yep. So Dana is pretty much our creative person and our creative designer. So she has the creative background. She's been in denim for a very long time. And when you think about building a brand and building a partnership and a company, it's all about, who's going to be that inner circle, right? And who's going to help you bring that to life. And Dana was really like the closing the gap piece for the brand of like how to make it come to life. And so, yeah, we've been together since I want to say like 2018, but a lot of that was like brainstorming, and we've been working as a side hustle. And so in July, we finally launched officially with our dark wash denim jeans. Thank you. And
wait, I'm going to stop you there.
Yeah.
So this idea came in 2018. And then 2020 hit. Did you guys actually plan to start in 2020, or was it just let's just do it? Like there's no more excuses.
Yeah, what's so funny is like in 2013 when I started grad school, I was in a group and I was like, I'm gonna launch a curvy petite brand. And at that time, I was like in my team. They were like, oh, well, what do you want to like one day accomplish? And I was like, I just want to find jeans that fit me. And so, and that kind of like started this, path and this journey to get where we are today. But I think when the girls and I got together, we were just really struggling on figuring out how a factory could even take us in. So no, like we thought we could launch way sooner and had multiple obstacles along the way. Some of it was like legal obstacles, trying to understand trademark. A lot of it was factories and figuring out who you would want to manufacture with and who would even take you in as a small brand. And then, COVID hit and we were at a time where we were like, crap, like we weren't expecting this to happen. We already have our production date in, and then they pushed us out even further because of COVID. So we were like, you know what, if the opportunity comes and we can launch, we should just launch, and we will always do our best in this environment to, launch our brand and then like continue to build on that. So that's really what we did.
So I love that, because after you had launched, I was like, Choua, I need to get on the phone with you ASAP, because I'm planning on launching my business next week. And it was just all like such a coincidence that everything was happening. And I had been following your journey, I think just earlier this year. And I'm like, what is this Cali Dana? Like, what are these jeans that keep popping up on my feed, And I looked into it even further. I'm like, oh my gosh, I think Choua started something. Like, I'm not surprised. Obviously, you've already started so many different things. So I was following your journey, and I love that, your journey. I love just kind of seeing the growth of your journey from like when you guys first started. I know we had talked about like not wanting to be the face of our brand.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that just comes from like us. I don't know if you've ever really kind of put yourself out there on social media. I think I did it like when I was in Minnesota, when I was running my fashion agency. But ever since I got into corporate, I kind of stopped. I was just too busy to really keep up with it anymore. And I wanted like a part of my life to be like private in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that you and I just really related on that. Like, do we want to be the face of this? Like, why would it matter if we are or aren't? But I don't know if you noticed that anytime you put your face onto anything or your name, you actually get more recognition because people know you. They can relate to you as a person versus just your product alone. Because that's something that I've noticed just with our own business as well.
Yeah, I definitely think, and it's just like the way we engage with other brands that we follow too. It's like all of a sudden you feel this connection to this person who is a co-founder and who struggles with the same things that you struggle with. And I think that builds like this deeper connection and that creates more engagement. And as much as you're right, I did not want to be, on the website. I kept
being a model.
Yeah, I was like, oh man. And of course, like, Mark took my photos too, and bless him for like being willing to take my photos in the middle of COVID.
Shout out to the husband.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I just felt like people wanted to connect with you more, and I felt like they were connected with a person that they knew or could come to know, and I think that's where we get a lot of engagement from as well. And I think especially now that we're working with like our maker series and we're talking like Gabby, which was our last guest on our series.
Gabby.
Her face is like in her body is all over our page, and she's a person, and you could connect with her and understand her background and dig more into who she is and really connect with like some of her passions that could be your passions too. And so I think like brands have an opportunity to give their customers and their followers some connection. And I think that's how that's why people like founders and staying connected with them more.
So I'm not gonna lie, you know who gave me the inspiration for Golden Hour?
Oh,
You.
what?
Yeah, last time we were talking and you're like, I want to use my platform for like bringing people together, right?
Oh.
And I was like, that's such a good concept. Like, I love that. And like at that time, my sister and I were talking about how we kept just going back to the values of what our brand would represent. And it was more so not to be like, oh, high-end, fashion-y, luxury, like fashionista, trendy, things like that. Even though like we do like fashion, we do dress up. I'm pretty sure some people were expecting that of us, but we wanted to stick to like building community and inspiring others. And that's how this whole Golden Hour series came about, is through the conversations that we have with our friends and our family, and then their connections and their networks, and just continuing to inspire others. I think that, I mean, this is something that I say every time, I introduce a guest, or even just talking to, or inviting guests to this series, is that everyone has a story to tell, and everyone's story is different. No one's ever going to have the same story, right? There might be some similarities where you share the same sentiment, but ultimately you are unique to yourself, your brand, your story, and that's what, like, I really wanted to bring to this platform. So thank you. I had to, like, shout you out for that, because, like, you definitely planted a seed in me that allowed me to continue to, like, water it and watch it grow, and it's definitely slowly growing. But I mean, I'm doing it for selfish reasons, because I love having these conversations with people. So
yeah, same. I think that for me, and I'm so glad, like, you and I had that conversation. I still remember, because I was literally in my kitchen and we were chatting through and I was probably drinking, but and chatting through, like, what's the risk in launching? Like, so what? You fail or you blow up, who cares? But the point is that you did something, you have the opportunity to do it. And I honestly, like, live with that every day. There's this consistent fear of failure, but I have failed so many times in my life. Like, what's the big deal?
right.
And
like, it's what they always say, you gotta fail fast, right? As entrepreneurs, fail fast and just keep learning. And now that I've started, I'm in a space where I'm just like, I just got to do it. I will only learn if I do it. So speaking of which, how did you go about expanding your brand? Because I remember when I first started following you, you guys had already been a year in, and I didn't even know that you had been a year in. I don't know if you had announced it to anyone or reached out to friends and family personally. How did that whole experience go for you, expanding your brand to where it is now?
Yeah, so a little backstory. So we started off as a brand called Real Kind. And the reason why we came up with that brand name was, we wanted to think about, like, who we were as women and as leaders and humans in our community. We wanted to be kind, and we wanted to keep it real with whoever that we were interacting with. And of course, along the way, some of those things that happened, like I said earlier, was, legal. You had to learn how to trade name or trademark your name. And because, everything kind of stems from that. And as you grow and as you develop as a brand, you want to make sure that you are legally secure in multiple aspects. And so that we became, finally Cali and Dana. And through that, we were able to, erase our whole Instagram because we had to rebrand ourselves.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and at the beginning, it was really just more of like, hey, here's the backstory, here's what we're doing, here's some insights. A lot of our posts were really about behind the scenes and our struggles. So, like, some of our stories were of Dana, meeting up with our factory in our sample room to work through some of the design pieces, and then, like, having our guys in the sample room do, like, some shots of them sewing our samples, and, like, me trying samples. And literally Dana and I were in we were in Herald Square at Gap and trying on the sample jeans, because when you're a startup, you don't have a sample room to try on or an office to try on. And so, we were taking photos of that to be able to feed into our Instagram and, like, let our followers know what we were up to. And then finally, when we became Cali and Dana, we were like, we need to build some structure in our branding. This is who we are. Dana and I started talking about colors and how we wanted our colors to be reflected in our branding, and that's why we chose that green hue that you see that kind of follows us wherever we go, because we wanted to communicate freshness and this idea of being open and freedom, and so that's why we chose that was, like, really unique to us. And part of that branding piece is to keep it consistent throughout wherever we are. And so that's kind of where we ended up. I think I've archived our posts, like, twice already, and redoing our grid and, working through all the branding pieces. But I think we've come a long way, and I think we're in a good place right now where we are really proud of our identity. We've launched, we're consistent. We understand who we want to be and how we want to communicate more, and we're not perfect, but I think we are much surer now than we were even a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I mean, we just started, and we're constantly like watching all these TikToks, watching all these YouTubes and Instagram posts, and like reading and educating ourselves on how to just better market ourselves, right? And we're trying every trick in the trade, but it's just all about consistency. At first, I was like super concerned about just having a proper plan and like having a proper grid layout. And when we noticed that that didn't really matter, it was more like the quality of the content, or even just connecting with people. And even now, like, we're still struggling with that. It's so refreshing to know that like it took you guys a year just to kind of come around to building your brand, to kind of understanding that you need to be consistent and that it takes a lot of time and energy to do that and be where you are today. So thank you for sharing that. You always give me hope. I'm like, there's hope. There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
You know what? It's like hope, and it's like dream, and you kind of have need all of that, right? Not just as like an entrepreneur, but as a person. You gotta keep thinking like, I have to kick myself back actually all the time, and I'm really appreciative to have Allie and Dana to like kind of knock each other back in sense and be like, all right, every Friday we're always resetting and talking about the next week, and what are we doing, and just kind of hyping each other up when we're down over text, and that kind of really helps. But like never giving up and always having hope. And then of course, if it's gonna, like, you got to let something go, you need to figure out how to let it go and then just kind of move on from there.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that is harder to do, easier to say, obviously, because you're doing it already and you're like, I still got to see if I'm going to get results, right? So I can measure myself. But if you see that the results aren't even coming in, let's say for like a week or two or even a month, it's like you got to drop it. Stop wasting your time and energy. One of my big soundboards is that I'm really just spoiled, and I have really great friends and family that I can use as a soundboard for ideas and inspiration and just kind of getting feedback from. So, to everyone who's out there who are friends and family, thank you for supporting not only myself, but Choua, because like Choua, like girl, bought your t-shirt, whoever designed it, pick the best fabric because it's so soft. I'm always like, I just want to sleep in it every night because it's so soft and cozy. And,
I know.
Like, I think any and all type of feedback is good, especially when you start a business. But what I was really trying to get at is the conversation that you were having with Gabby last week or 2 weeks ago?
I don't know. Yeah. Maybe
you're like, I lost track of time. Today's Friday. You know that, right? No, so there was something you had said to Gabby that was along the lines of, like, basically, as an entrepreneur, as a small business, we all have to support each other, right? Yeah. And I love that you said that, because I think you also said that when we had our first conversation as well. And it just rings so true, because there's already so much competition out there in the world. There is something for someone. I mean, my sister was just telling me the other day, there's this TikTok or YouTube where people just like use a mortar.
Oh, mortar.
Yeah, and they're just crushing things like M&Ms and I don't know, whatever. And like, people are loving that. And then you have like ASMR, people are literally listening to you eat. And so there is definitely a market for anything, for anyone. And I love the fact that you have made that statement, because it's so true. Like, you're not going to be able to survive on your own. You definitely need a village. And that village really, truly comes from, first and foremost, your friends and your family, because they're going to be the ones who are going to be your first supporters. They're going to be the ones who are going to spread the word. And so, yeah, girl, I'm just praising you today. I don't know what it is.
I don't know why.
But I just want to say thank you again.
I will say, you know, like when it comes to friends and family, like of course, you know, you'll always have those people that support you, but are gonna challenge you, and you need those people in your life. Like, and I would say like my husband is one of those people who, of course, he like supports me 110%, but he is a logical thinker, and he's gonna say like, why would you do X, Y, Z, or what makes you want to do that? And we all need to do that. So I think that, you know, having that in your life is super important. And I think that, you know, when your family supports you, that's amazing. And if they don't support you, that's okay too. But that doesn't mean you know, give up. But as like I don't know, like a young Hmong woman, you know, I love seeing other Hmong women out there like just killing and doing their thing. And I want to support, and I want to just cheer you on. If I can't buy it, I will still cheer you on. You know, I think hate and negativity just like brings a whole community down. You know, we could just be supportive of each other. And if you don't believe in it, you know, be critical in a way that is constructive versus just like, I don't like it, so, you know.
Right.
That's not constructive.
That's when you know you've grown up.
Yeah, exactly.
We're adulting. Oh, respect is coming in so many different forms.
Yes, exactly.
Speaking of which, I need a top up song. I'm gonna top up, yeah. No, I'm just so happy that we get to catch up and dress up.
Exactly.
For everyone who is on watching us, this is not a conversation just between myself and Choua. This is definitely a super interactive conversation where we want you guys to ask questions, let us know what you're thinking. Comment. I saw some comments. I saw some shout outs saying that they loved our festive spirit. I saw, you know, I'm just really far from my phone, so I can't really reply back, but thank you all for joining. Again, if you have any questions on, you know, what starting or finding a niche brand looks like, where, you know, you guys are as a business, that is something that, you know, we're open to answering as well. But I actually wanted to get to know a little bit more about like how COVID has been affecting business for you, because like obviously no one's picking a date where a virus is or a pandemic is affecting the entire world. How's that going for you guys?
I think it's, so what we couldn't do live was a in-person launch. So we ended up doing a live event with one of our really good friends, Eden, who owns a food truck company in the city called Makina Cafe, and it serves like Ethiopian food. So we ended up doing a live with her because we wanted to talk to someone who had already been an entrepreneur, and then just really having like one of these like open type of conversations. And so that's kind of what happened with, you know, with COVID, is we couldn't meet in person, so we adjusted, and we just had to be more agile in what we were doing. I think one struggle that we're seeing right now is that as the weather is getting colder, we can't go, you know, like one of our strategies probably would have been like pop-up shop, you know, or getting a table at like a market or a holiday market with maybe other vendors who are willing to come put in for like purchasing a tent or a table. And so we're not doing that this year because of the COVID situation. So other things that we're looking at from a pop-up perspective is like virtual pop-ups. So we follow Create and Cultivate.
The hashtag?
Yeah.
We do too. Yeah. Stop. Why are we the same people? I actually found that through Vanessa Lau. I don't know if you guys watch her YouTube, but Vanessa is like on point too. If you don't,
I'm gonna have to follow. I'm gonna have to hit you up for that afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, and I Fund Women, we also follow them, and you know, just trying to see like what they're doing, if they have grants to apply for, if they have pop-up shops to apply for, you know, anything that we could apply to, we're trying right now. And I think that kind of leads into this like this other idea of grants and finding mentorship. And, you know, I'm definitely in a place where I'm looking for a mentor who can help guide me through some of these entrepreneurial struggles, and not so much in like the space of like I need a small business loan, because that's not where like myself and my partners are going after, but we need someone to give us some guidance in like how do you apply for a woman's like in business grant, how do you create a pitch deck, how do you create a media deck so that you can pitch to a retailer, and like those are some things, like critical things that you could really fail at, and we're seeking that right now. And one organization that I found is called SCORE, SCORE. So they partner with the Small Business Association, SBA. They have several resources that you can use for free, and they have mentors that you can talk to. So I've reached out to them a couple of times, just trying to, kind of understand what kind of resources they have out there. So for any entrepreneurs out there who are looking at funding or just want someone to look at their financial statements, that might be a good place for you guys to start.
That's really good advice. I mean, I guess the other thing that I'm curious about is like, how soon is too soon to reach out to a mentor? Do you have to be a year in? Do you have to be 5 years in? Do you have to be making X amount of money before you can reach out to a mentor? I don't know if you have any of the answers to that, but those are just kind of things that I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I think if you have an idea, it doesn't hurt to talk to someone who's already done something in the industry. And like the more I'm in it, the more I learn that like, screw it, I'm just going to ask people for help. Because before I was always like really hesitant, or, I would think about like, do you think they'll actually respond to me? And I've reached out to people and people respond, and like for me in my professional aspect of my life, like besides my side hustle at Cali Dana, I'm also a marketer. And so like people who go through like the MBA programs and they reach out to me and they ask me about being like a brand manager, like I always reach back out too. And so I do feel like people, as long as you ask in a kind way and you reach out appropriately, like they're willing to talk to you about anything.
That's so funny because I did the same thing when I was in corporate. Any university student, I mean, anyone who reached out on LinkedIn who wanted to have a tour or like come and host them at our site, I was literally bringing them in and like having roundtables and panel discussions with them. But now that the roles are reversed, and so this is more like a personal struggle for me. I don't feel like I have that clout to go out and be like, oh, hey, I need a mentor. I need to talk to somebody. How did you do this and that? So that's something that I definitely am getting over. And it's a struggle when you're an entrepreneur because you almost feel like you have to do everything yourself, even though you know you need help, right?
Yeah.
So asking for help is definitely like something that you need to, or I need to be better about. But in general, anyone who's starting a business, you said it so easily that, just go out and ask for help. That the known answer is going to be no.
Yeah.
Right. And I can say this all day, but it's like I have to convince myself to do it too. But that's the biggest and challenging part is getting yourself out there and asking for help, because we're not used to that. We've normalized not asking for help for so long that we're just used to doing everything ourselves and trying to not fail, but failing and then being hard on ourselves. And like this cycle continues.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Sarah just gave you a shout out, chicken strips. She said she loves the Lydia costume.
Hey, I worked really hard on this. Just kidding. I did it yesterday. So I was like, I'm so proud of myself.
I will say that she's definitely right about like, this line of communication and like it's all, it could start just with coffee. Definitely like when I was doing my grad program, just reaching out to people who are doing brand and asking them for help. And that actually helped me understand what consumer packaged goods look like. So I know that's like not in the entrepreneurial space, but you could just reach out to a lot of people and they will definitely help you. I use LinkedIn a lot as well.
Yeah, no, that's so true. See, look, I'm already learning from you.
Stop it. Well,
I'm trying not to laugh. I'm supposed to be serious.
You look really scary.
I know. I'm like, stop laughing.
I am interested in hearing about your guys' new launch, though, because you guys just launched a new line.
We did. So we just launched a new collection, and every season we only launch about 4 new frames of glasses. because like Choua said, it's a struggle to find any supplier, vendor, anybody who's going to support a small business. Like, we don't have millions of dollars to have a high MOQ, and it's just hard. So regardless of that, this new collection is basically inspired by the architecture in France. We just could not stop reminiscing about our trip last year when we went for one of my girlfriend's wedding, and we explored. I mean, I've been to Paris before, but exploring it with your family is very different too. So I was able to see like fresh eyes, and as a big, Chinese tourist family group, we stopped and took a lot of photos. So that was nice because then we had photos to reference. And my sisters are also very big traveling planners as well. They're very big in organizing travels, just like I am, because we're big travelers. And so we thought we wanted to, we wanted other people to travel with us, because obviously now with the pandemic, people aren't allowed to travel and can travel through just, our collection, our new collection. So that's essentially where it's inspired from. So.
I love that story. It's like, you can't travel, but here's a way to look through, the next step through the classes. I love it.
So a lot of our brand is really inspired by like travel. As sisters, that's where we get our most excitement, and when we're most anal, because we're like, we gotta have the schedule. We're very like, let's do all this, and we literally do a lot in one day. We are like super Chinese tourists. So we're like, let's go here. But we cover a lot of ground, and we see a lot of things, and we just appreciate everything that we do see, eat, and the people that we engage with. So we wanted that to be a part of our brand in general. So thank you for asking about my new collection.
Yeah.
Even though this is about you.
Well, on the Cali and Dana side, we have our black jeans that just dropped.
Yes. I was like, okay, it was a little hard to see in the photos. I was like, are these just new photos, or are they like new jeans? Until you actually said dark denim or like black denim. I was like, oh, okay.
I will say, like, I really, really like these, not just because like we made them, but for someone who's like me, being short and curvy, and like, I don't even like jeans to start off with. Like, this is a mid-rise, and if like, I've been wearing it all the time in Jersey City, people are like, that girl's been wearing like the same jeans like all week. But yeah, so we just dropped that, and we actually have a new drop coming at the end of next week as well.
Damn, look at y'all, back to back.
So Dana's actually designed some pretty cool sweatshirts that I think are very iconic to the big city. So yeah, I'm just encouraging everyone, like, check us out at the end of next week. After election, of course, we didn't want to get any of our news muddled up in the election. We want to encourage everyone to go vote.
I was trying to avoid that conversation.
I was like, bring it up.
The world either is going to go to hell or go to hell next week. So,
listen, at the end of the day, if we do it what we're supposed to, which is, exercise our right, then we're already taking a step at doing our best. The worst you can do is just not exercise the right that you have. And for me, like, being a immigrant to the country, the fact that I can even vote, I am thankful every day that I get to have that right. So I already did my mail-in ballot like a month ago.
Yes. So for those who are listening and watching, and who will watch after this, please go out and vote. Practice your rights. You have the right to make a difference in this country, which a lot of countries don't have. And I hope that people understand that, it is definitely a privilege to go out and vote.
Yep. I don't care how you vote, although, but just do it.
I kind of care, but I don't care. But I really care.
I kind of care, but I don't care.
All right. So we are coming up to time. You and I, obviously, we're going to talk after this anyways, because
of course.
Yeah. We are coming to time. I always give my guests. Can you see that glow? Oh, never mind. So I'm looking at my skin because every time I go up closer, it's like this sun.
It's glowing.
Yeah. That's called sweat. I'm due. No, but I always give my guests the last words. Any words of wisdom you want to give the audience, any quotes that you live by, anything that, you know, you want to share with us.
All right, I'll share my personal quote. And this is what's kind of kept me going in the last, I would say maybe like 3 to 4 years. Some of you guys who know me have already heard me say this before, but I was in a bathroom at a restaurant in Jersey City, and I had to go use the bathroom. So, you know, I was at an interesting time in my life. I was transitioning between jobs, trying to understand like what I really wanted to do. And I sat on the toilet, took my pee, and I looked up, and there was this quote that was like, "You are not a tree. If you don't like where you are, move." And I was like, Jesus Christ, you know, that is so true. And that's like about a drink in, but I will never forget that. And I really do like live by that. If I don't like where I am, I'm in control. And, you know, we should realize that in most of our time, at least for me personally, I need to I can't always be in control, but my happiness is my control. You know, I'm in control of that. And so if I don't like, you know, what I'm doing at work, I should be able to address that with my manager, make changes, you know, or make life changes, you know, and get closer to happiness. And we won't get there tomorrow, but we should always be striving for that. And so that's my last words of wisdom.
One more time. What was that quote that you saw after you peed and looked up after one drink?
All right. If you're not a tree, you're not a tree. If you don't like where you are, just move.
Love that, and love the background story.
Thank
now
you.
Now I gotta know where that restaurant was, like, you know, like which stall, which
Exactly.
wall. I have to have that epiphany quote come to me as well.
When you come to Jersey City, come back to the East Coast.
Yeah, right?
I'll take you there. Hopefully it's still there after COVID.
So true, so true. Well, thank you so much, Choua, and thank you everyone for joining. Oh, Dana did want to mention that you guys are actually having a giveaway for people who voted.
Oh, yes.
Do you want to give more information about what that entails so the viewers can apply?
Yeah, so just go to our page. All you have to do is say that you voted, and like with your little sticker, and tag us, and then you can get in the drawing for a free t-shirt. And like Angel said, these t-shirts are really soft. The fabric was legit picked by Dana to make sure that it was nice, soft, and comfortable. We're not just putting out like whatever type of cotton out there. So, you know, it's a nice shirt to have. You can go sleep in it, wear it, tie it to the back. It's a crop top.
I will say it's true to size. I got a large, even though I think I should have gotten a medium. Because I was like, oh, if it's too big, then I can crop it even more. But I wish I would have gotten a medium. So
Literally,
get your true size.
Yeah, we definitely tried multiple like samples before we settled on one. So it was very much thought out.
Love it. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Choua. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Happy Halloween.